It's been about 2 years since I actually seen Terry. 2 years since I'm able to come to this point.
Today, in part 2 of a special 2-part session of Divorce Court, Judge Lynn Toler hears the case of Lillian Cumberbatch versus Terry Ellis, with world-renowned evangelist and preacher Dr. Juanita Bynum observing the case from chambers at the judge's request. Yesterday, in part 1, Judge Lynn sat down for an exclusive interview with Dr. Bynum, who has come under close scrutiny since an incident of domestic abuse between her and her husband, Bishop Thomas Weeks, made headlines.
They said you tried to commit suicide. Is that true?
Suicide crossed my mind. Jumping out the window crosses your mind.
Are you two getting back together? Are you talking?
I no longer want the marriage. So you're done. I'm done.
All rise! And after their interview, Judge Lynn took the bench and began the domestic violence case of Lillian Cumberbatch versus Terry Ellis.
I slapped her when she lied to me about stuff that she shouldn't lie about.
At no point do you have a right to slap her.
And today, in the conclusion of this case, Lillian shocks the courtroom with more details of the abuse she endured.
He took me into our bedroom. He grabbed me by my throat, pulled me up against the wall.
But despite his wife's claims, Terry still insists he's a good man. But with Judge Lynn's years of experience on the bench, she disagrees.
Every man I've ever convicted of domestic violence, they're nice to you, then boom, something happens. Then he's nice again. Get her to stay, get her to work with. Boom, boom.
And finally, with Judge Lynn and Dr. Bynum by her side, Lillian summons the courage to confront her husband. But will she prevail?
I need to confront you. Oh, goodness, why is you looking at me like that?
In the conclusion of this very special 2-part session of Divorce Court, where real couples deal with real life. We now join Lillian Cumberbatch, who is suing Terry Ellis for the cost of 3 months' rent and clothing, as Judge Lynn concludes their case.
What happened when you decided to leave?
I had just got laid off from my job. They had gave me my last couple of checks. I had went and cashed those last checks and got money orders so we can pay our bills, because we always have a problem with paying bills.
And you hot about it, and that's okay. It's okay for her to be angry. She has the right. Well, I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak, like I've always have after she speaks. But she has a right to be angry. You see what I'm saying? You getting hot because she's angry.
No, I'm getting hot because she's lying.
I'm going to give you a chance to speak. Go ahead.
At the time when I went and got the money orders, I made sure that I kept the check stubs and the receipts from the money orders, just in case a situation where we get into an argument because he find the receipts or anything like that, and he want to know where the money went to. We still got into an argument. This is where he locked the door, went to the kitchen table, sat there with the receipts, talking about where the money is. He took me into our bedroom, closed the door, started arguing some more. He grabbed me by my throat, pulled me up against the wall.
Faking.
I'm faking, and it didn't even happen. He put me up against the wall. Some kept telling me, look for something near me to grab. It was a plastic hanger. I grabbed the plastic hanger, started whacking him with it.
What?
I kept whacking him with it until it broke. And it broke in pieces, and that's when he let me go. That's when I kept saying, God, thank you for letting him let me go. All he could tell me was, look at the scratches that you put on my chest. But what you did to me, though, it didn't even matter. Our daughter was at the door, banging on the door. My oldest daughter was in her room crying because she didn't even know what was going on.
Mr. Ellis, your version of those events.
First of all, she's lying.
I just want to know what happened that day. Was there an incident? Did you lock the door? Did you choke her? Did anybody touch anybody
On this day
in anger?
we argued. I didn't jump on her or lock her in no room. And when I lock you in a room and beat you up.
All right. Mrs. Cumberbatch, you're asking for 3 months' rent and some money for clothes. Why don't you explain that to me?
It was many occasions where I wanted to leave, Your Honor, and I couldn't leave with any of my clothes. So I knew on this in particular day when I left him, I wouldn't be able to take any clothes, any items, anything whatsoever. My kids' clothes, nothing. So I had to leave my clothes.
So you left with
I had
nothing.
to wear only my uniform, leaving out of town, Your Honor, and I would not do that.
Your Honor, I didn't know she was leaving.
I understand that, but eventually you figured out that she was gone. And
when
I'm
I
going
found
to
out
say,
she was gone, I never once told her she couldn't come here to clothes. When I moved, I had to move out
do
of
you still have her clothes?
I had to move her. No, I don't have her clothes. I got rid of it. What am I hauling stuff around for? She keep telling me she gonna come home.
Okay. What I need to know at this juncture is, did you ever try to get your clothes and were not able to?
Your Honor, I asked him if he can send me my clothes.
2 years later.
2 years later. Was it 2 years later?
No, it wasn't, Your Honor.
How
It
long?
was the same year that I had left him. I needed my clothes. All I had was this uniform, Your Honor.
I got you. And what about the $475 for 3 months' rent? Why are you looking for that?
To help me get myself and my girls back on our feet so I can try and make a better life for us.
Later on Divorce Court, after recently enduring domestic violence herself, Dr. Juanita Bynum enters the courtroom.